What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, people? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? How are we doing? I hope everybody has had an awesome. Well, we're going into the weekend, but I hope everybody have an awesome weekend. It's been a while. I know. Well, again, this is baseball season, and we're going into a hell week for the next 2 weeks, where my grandson has a baseball game every single day. Every day. They got a game every day, starting on the 7th, all the way to the, no, they've got 3 practices in 2 weeks, but every other day is a game they have. So it's going to be a while before I get back on. Now, I may do I got this lady, Angela, who is trying to get out in front of some of the situations that's going on in the black community with all these shootings, which found out 20-year-old kid was shot. He died, and he's out at 2-something in the morning riding a scooter. They heard a gunshot, and one of the dudes on these scooters got shot. It's over in North Minneapolis. I know no one's shocked. No one's shocked. I understand. But seriously, how are we doing? I hope, again, like I said before, I hope everybody's had an awesome time, enjoyed yourself, went down and watched some fireworks on yesterday. With everything. So today we don't do much. Not a lot of black people celebrate 4th of July. Just throwing that out there. Go listen to the Frederick Douglass speech. A lot of black people adhere to that speech when it comes to the 4th of July. A lot of black people said we've already had our Juneteenth, which is what they consider to be their Day of Independence. So you don't see too many black people doing anything much. I know my family never did, and like I said, my stepfather's white, so we never put too. And he's a military man; he's a Marine. So we never put too much into 4th of July. So I don't put too much into the 4th of July. You know, people have their parades and away you go. Have an awesome time. But I think that's what everybody's doing today. I hope everybody is safe. I hope nobody is out, shooting off fireworks and has a chance to be missing so many fingers. But I went to, let's get into this. There's a couple of things that I definitely want to say on, for, and about my community. So I went to a Hmong festival, which was probably one of the coolest things I've ever done. It was amazing, especially how they treated us, right? Like I got my little badge, VIP badge, and so we get there to this festival that they was having. It was huge. I've never seen anything like this before, ever. Didn't even know that they did this, but we was invited to come out and be VIP. That's what we were. Got to sit under the VIP tent. We got to ride the golf carts instead of walking all the way around this thing. They was driving us in the golf carts to go get things to eat, to see all the areas. It was pretty cool. Felt really, 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 really nice. And I have to just, like I said, reach out to them again and say thank you for that hospitality. Thank you for showing us love the way you did from your community. But I learned a lot from the Hmong community. one of the things that I learned about them was they are a group of people who came here with nothing, literally nothing. They didn't come here and they were, in a way, they were like the black people, like the guy was saying. No one gave them loans, right? You know, we always say in the black community how people can come here and it happens. It happens. Don't get me wrong in what I'm saying. I don't want the people to be, well, see, Rev, you can pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Get out of here with that crap. Don't even want to know it. Don't even want to hear it, because I can take you to West Virginia, because I've been there. I've been to Ridgely, West Virginia. So you can't play me, because I can take you to West Virginia where poor, seriously poor white people are. So don't hit me with the bootstrap crap. But what I'm saying with these Hmong people that I would have the opportunity to sit all day, I mean all day, and listen to their story, listen to them talk, listen to their culture, knowing and learn about their culture. And part of me was sitting there going, why in the hell can't black people be like that? And I know we always use the slavery thing. I get it. I know that. I realize that a lot of these people did not go through, because like I said, when I was born, segregation was going on. My parents, when I was born, my mom and dad could not use the white water fountain. When I was born, my mom and dad could not go into a white gas station to use their bathroom. They could not go. I understand that. Hey, what's happening, Chaz? The lost community was big in the Red Wing. They had to write special. They were big in Red Wing. Okay. Okay. The Laos community. Yeah. They were big in Red Wing. They had to have special ordinance. What are we? They had to write special ordinance, to be able to do anything. But so I was just reading something Chaz Neal was talking about. But what I'm saying is how this community is so tight-knit group, how they come together and they will pick somebody up and make sure that they are on a certain level with everybody else. They don't leave nobody behind. They leave nobody behind. My grandfather would tell me the story how after we got out of hate, racism, segregation, and black people were able to travel up north, or go out west to California, because there's a lot of black people moved out to California. So basically what was supposed to happen is, if you sent someone out of the South, right, deep South, where you couldn't, as a black person, you couldn't swim in a white swim pool, you couldn't go to the zoo. Like in Memphis, Tennessee, black people only went to the zoo on Wednesdays when white people couldn't go. That's the only time, is Wednesday. That was on. Look it up. But we were supposed to send people out of the community to go north, where they thought it wasn't racist, which if you look at, if you go to YouTube and you Google Minnesota and you Google, and you type in Jim Crow North, Minnesota would come up as being one of the most racist states. And Wisconsin is number 1, and Minnesota is number 4, I do believe, for states that black people really shouldn't live in. But anyway, we are, as a people, 99.9% of the time, are the last of the people to want to actually do anything to help each other. And so, well, that's not true, Rev. Really? Really? Okay. Follow me here. True story. True story. We just had a 11-year-old boy shot in the head. We just had a 23-year-old girl murdered. Last night, we just had a 20-year-old murdered. And you would think that just those three that I just named, I'm not talking about all the ones before them, and there are many. You would think that as a community, that we would find a way to come together. All these kids that has been dead, been shot, you would think that. Hell no. 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 Everybody got to have their own press conference because everybody has to get their face out. But here's the problem with these press conferences that we have in the community. They don't ever address the issue. Nobody's talking about the issue. Everybody wants to get in front of the camera so they can scream and yell white supremacy. That's always the start, the middle, and the ending of what's going on in our community. So I'm sitting at these tables and I'm speaking to all of these Hmong people, all of these Laos from the community. I'm talking to all of these people. And they're just talking about how, just as a collective, as a group, how they're able to push aside problems to help somebody come up in the community, help somebody be a problem. They've got, they've found out one of the family's got a drug problem. It's everybody's drug problem. And the government this isn't something that the government helps them with. They do this on their own. You don't see them in their community when there's a drug problem or when there is a shooting or whenever. You don't see them running in front of microphones blaming other people. They say they take care of their own. They take care of it in-house. I thought that was wow. I'm sitting there thinking, but we can't do that. There's always got to be somebody to blame for the very problem that we are having. Black kids are shooting black kids. But white supremacy is making them, and so that's not making me understand. See, and still until we finally go, that little black boy that shot that little black girl is a problem in our community, then we're not going to solve the hateful people who use guns to commit violence. See, we like, it's like I was telling somebody at a meeting. I was at a meeting on last Monday, Monday ago. And in that meeting, what I said was, we have violent people who somehow get a gun. See, what everybody in the black community want to say is, we have gun violence. See how we blame? We have gun violence in our community. And as long as we can blame something, and if we can blame the gun, then that justifies us going further to blame other people and other people's problems with our problem. That's how we justify that little black girl, that little black boy shooting and killing another little black boy. We justify it that way. And as long as we can justify it, right, we're okay now. Now we can move forward into the next killing. And then we go, oh, well, there's nothing we can do about that because that's gun violence. There's no way we can stop this because that's gun violence. And the only way that's going to happen is we put together little groups. Everybody get their little group. And then the government says, we're going to pump money into each one of your little groups. And in each one of these little groups will run around and say, oh, without us, the violence will still be going. Even though the violence is happening, even with them, they swear up and down, once the violence come down just a little bit during the winter, it's their group that made this happen. Their group didn't. Yep, as long as you push money into us and my group is out on the streets, out on the corners, it's our group that made it happen. But on that very corner, that very group who says made it happen is getting shot at. The very group that sits and says they made it happen, that group is getting shot at. There's a lot of money in black pain. There's a lot of money in black pain. And the sad part about this situation is black people know that. They know that they can make a penny off of their own people. It's almost go back to the tribes when the tribe was selling us. When they caught my grandparents, my great-great-grandparents, my great-great-great-great-great-grandparents. When our own people who look like us sold us out, put us on a boat, and sent us over to be beat, raped. Another thing that really touched my heart about the Laos community, about the Hmong community, is they do everything they possibly can do to keep tradition alive. Pretty much every one of their kids can speak English and can speak their native tongues, even though they are generation after generation after generation. We can't do that. I don't know what my native tongue is. I know it's not American. I know my ancestry was not speaking the King English. That was beat out of us. We were told that I had to speak the way that I'm speaking now. That my native tongue wasn't good enough to be here. That was taken from us. And when I was talking back and forth with them, and I was telling them that, I said it wasn't our choice to speak this way. It wasn't our choice to speak the King's English. We didn't have a choice. The man who calls himself our master made us say that your name is no longer Kunta Kinte, but your name is Toby. But I thought that part, and I can understand that part, that they want to keep their traditions alive. We were not allowed to keep our traditions. we had to assimilate to the tradition of the white man. And that's very, very sad. But that's a true story. I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, you know. Oh. But I thought it was pretty cool how this little boy, I think he was like probably 7 or 8, can go from speaking Hmong, Laos, to boom, right back into speaking English. And it was cool. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, wow, I would have been late. That would have been cool for me to be able to teach my grandkids that. Or if we could have kept our native tongue, but because of the trauma that they decided to put us through, we were not allowed to have that. But the bond that they had in their community was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And they went through a war-torn country. They lived on the side of a mountain, like the lady said. They lived on the side of a mountain, not knowing if they were going to eat. They just ate whatever was on the land, whether it was rats, whether it was whatever. If it moved, like she said, for them to survive, they had to eat it. So they went through a period where it was bad. It was really bad. They didn't know if they were going to live or die. They didn't know if the people was going to come in, and it was bad. Was it as worse as slavery? I don't know. I wasn't comparing the two. So they were celebrating that day their freedom, their independence from a country that brutalized them, from a country that hurt them, from a country that put them down. Then I go back on the other side and said there's a reason why a lot of black people don't celebrate the 4th of July. Because of what this country did. But we can learn as black people. We can learn a lot from the Laos. We can learn a lot from the Hmong people, I see. And a large part of what I learned from them, listening to them, like I said, I just soaked it in. Literally just sat there and just soaked in everything these elderly Hmong people were saying. Even some of the young Hmong people that I spoke to on that day. And was like, you know what? This could be how we start the new generation. Because the generation right now of black people, look, I'm just going to say it point blank, and you can get mad at me if you want to, but ain't no helping them. There's nothing I can do for a large number of black people. There isn't. I've come to that conclusion, but these young kids who are coming up today, we can turn them around. I'm talking any kid under 10. No. And people, well, wherever you gotta understand. You gotta look, people. You can't help somebody who don't want to be helped. You just can't. And if I waste my time, I'm come to the conclusion, if I waste my time on these people, then then the ones that we can't help coming up, those ones we can't help coming up, they're going to fall into the same category as the ones that we're looking at now going, there's nothing I can do with you. The 15-year-old boy today in the black community who is already has a corner spot selling drugs, already making more money than mom and dad, already has a gun, there's nothing I can do for that kid. Nothing. Because that kid right there will tell me some of everything about myself. So there's nothing I can do. But that 10-year-old kid, the one that I can get to before that drug dealer hands him his first load, before that drug dealer hands him his first gun, before that drug dealer tell him he can make more money than he ever thought about. That kid is the one that we need as a community to come together and to make sure that we get that kid in school. That kid realize and understand that he's going to be somebody. Those are the ones that I'm at a point now where I'm saying that's the only one that I can touch. That's the only one I can make a difference in his life. That's the only one. That girl, before she turns 13, 14, 15, and she already has a baby. And now she's milking the welfare system. Now she's got, before she's 18, she's got 3 kids. Those are the ones that we have to deal with now. I've got a plan. But the problem in the black community right now is we have too many Indians. Excuse me for saying that. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry, but that's how. Anyway, we got too many people who wants to be the boss. And everyone who wants to be the boss has the same rally cry. The same rally cry as always. It's somebody else's fault. It's never our fault. It's never the violent kid with the gun. Ever. In that Hmong community, when I'm sitting there and I'm talking to them, and they're saying, if we have a drug problem, it's our problem. If we have one who's out robbing, stealing as a criminal, they say it's our criminal. And I was like, wow. See, it's never ours. That kid is never ours. We don't have that village. We don't have the village mentality anymore. Because we're so used to pointing the finger at everybody else. White supremacy did not make that little black kid stick a gun in this woman's face, take her car with the baby in the back. That wasn't white supremacy. White supremacy didn't tell this kid, this black kid, to shoot this other black kid because he wanted his corner, because his corner made the more money. That's not it. Am I saying there isn't white supremacy? I'm not saying that. I can tell you a story right now on white supremacy that literally happened to me in baseball. I can tell you the story. So I'm not sitting here saying that. But what I am saying is we have to be different. We have to do different now. We can't keep doing what we have done over the past, I would even say 5 years, and expect change to happen. That's not going to happen. And until that happens, but I learned a lot that I'm going to start using when I'm dealing with my community from the Laos community. That was an eye opener. And I thank them for giving me the opportunity to come and hang out with them. And I put it on my timeline. My squid on a stick. Squid on it. I put it up. I ate it. Because it was so funny because they brought this bag. So they was like, we was driving around on these carts, right? When we wanted something to eat or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I don't care what it is. I want to, and I got to remember never to say this again. I don't care what it is. I just want to try the food. I want to try something new. Dude comes back with a bag. And in this bag, it was like egg rolls and meat and stuff. He just had a bag full of stuff. So I go in the bag and I pull out, and the first thing I pull out was this squid on a stick. Now, we've got 2 golf carts full of people all around me. I pulled this thing out and everybody's looking at me. So I'm like, okay, so I guess they're waiting for me to see my reaction. So I'm looking at this thing going, okay, what the heck? Because I've never seen squid until they told me what it was. So I go and so I eat it. I eat half of one, and I'm like, okay, that's you gotta have that taste for it. So the guy says, so they notice my face. So the guy's like, stick it in that sauce. Okay. Now, I'm thinking sweet and sour sauce, or I'm thinking, like some type of oil or, something like that, No. I had one of those. I had a couple of those hot chips. I don't know if you guys ever ate. My grandkids love hot fries and hot chips and all of this here. And they dared me to eat one. So I ate one, then I ate another one. And it was hot. I'm not a spicy. My wife is a spicy person. She loves that hot rice and all of that stuff. That's not my thing. So I dip take a squid off. I dipped the whole squid into this red sauce. Not thinking. Not me. Everybody's looking. So I'm the one of the guests of honors. I got my VIP sticker going on. I'm good today, and I'm driving around on a golf cart, and everybody looking at you like you're important. And I'm like, what did I do to be here? I'm gonna try their dish. I stick that squid in that whatchamacallit. I popped that thing in my mouth, and I was on fire. I was on, listen to me. So if there is a burning building and they pulling everybody out, they would take me and throw me in that building. I'm on fire, people. I'm like water. Somebody, just throw it on me. You don't have to give me the water to drink. I just need you to throw it on me. Somebody, please throw some water on me. If you got an ice cube, please rub my forehead. I'm on fire right now. Nobody told me. They didn't. Hey, Rev, maybe you may not want to take as much hot sauce as what, Rev? Hey, Rev, that is a hot sauce. No one said that. They didn't say, Rev, maybe don't take as much of that as, didn't say that. I'm on fire. On fire right now. Literally. Eyes, glasses off, crying, water, all water. Can't see I had so much water in I'm on fire, people. On fire. Help me. Somebody help me. I'm gonna die. I'm going to die at a fest. No, I'm dying right now. They got me water. Got me 2. Chugged the first one. Chugged it. I did not. Them bottles of water. You sometimes you drink and you got to come up for air. You drink them, you got to come up for at least halfway. No, cleared it. Suck it on it. Threw that one down. The other one I kind of took in slowly but surely. But the first one, I drank that whole. I did not even breathe through it. I was on fire. I've never been that hot before in my life. Never. I could have took that whole bag of hot chips and threw it in my mouth and been just fine. You probably wouldn't have even blinked from the bag of hot chips. Versus dunking that squid in that little red sauce and then plop it in my mouth like I did. I probably could have ate a half a jalapeno habanero and probably been heated. But that sauce, I was on fire. On fire. All of me felt like my fingertips felt like they were on fire. And I look up and everybody in this cart was looking at me. And I'm sure they look at me. I'm sure they probably said to themselves, we have never seen a black man turn red. I was on fire, people. Y'all not understanding what I'm just saying here. Fire. That's what it felt like. To the point to where you're crying. It's so hot. Well, after 2.5 bottles, I finally felt okay. And I swear I'll never do that again. Ever. I'll go back to the festival because that was one of the coolest things I've ever been to. But I'm not just putting anything in my mouth ever again. It will never. I'm questioning everything from now on. I don't care whose culture in it. I go to a German culture and they be like, Rev, why don't you? No, I need to know who made it. I need to know what's in it. I need to know how long it took you to make it. I need to know the origins of it. I need to know everything. I am never. Oh, you can't do that, Rev. You're going to embarrass their culture. I know. Because either I'm going to ask or I'm going to embarrass. Anyway. Hey, check this out. White people. And I say that because of the broad brush that has been used, because it's always funny how certain people can use the broad brush, but other people can't. So I'm just telling white people, I have never been on a Carnival cruise. Matter of fact, I have never been on a cruise, less known a Carnival, because apparently, on Twitter at least, because I haven't seen it on Facebook. I always see this stuff on Twitter. Like I told you before, Twitter is the devil's playground. It is. Ever since Elon Musk has taken over, y'all know I'm right. You know, you can be mad at me if you want to, but you know I'm right. You do. So I'll give you a second. But as I said, ever since Elon Musk has taken over Twitter is the dirtiest, filthiest, devilish place you could be. It is. But I guess there's this thing going around hating on black people about being on Carnival Cruise Line. I guess Carnival Cruise Line has gotten to the point with black people where they're like, we're tired of your shit. I don't know. So, but what I'm saying is the way some white people are putting this out there, it's like if all black people go on Carnival Cruise Line. And I'm saying I have never, ever been on Carnival Cruise Line. I've never twerked. I ain't never had a boom box. I ain't never smoked weed on Carnival. Matter of fact, I've never been on a cruise. Now, if someone wants to pay for me and my wife to go on a cruise, the donations, that can be open. Because I've always wanted to go on that Alaskan, because my wife don't want to go on the Alaskan one, because she said, why would I want to go somewhere cold when I live in Minnesota? Which I understand. But I want to go so I can see polar bears, and I want to see nature. I want to see the wilderness. I want to see. So I was saying to her, let's go on the one to Alaska, because I wouldn't mind going to Alaska. I like watching those Alaskan shows where, they show you how you live off the grid. That is my living. I could live. The only reason I live where I live now is because my wife has to be around people. No, seriously. Because if I could pick to where we live, we would be on the other side of Big Lake, where I can have probably a good 5-6 acres, and my next neighbor is like way down there. That's how but my wife has got to have people around her and all that type of stuff. But anyway, I've never been on a Carnival cruise, so stop saying all black people. This is how all black people act. This is all black. No, it's not. It's not. So stop it. Because if that's the deal, y'all know I can get on my all white people. Look, hold on. Show you something. True story. So, Crime Watch. Shelley and Crime Watch. Right? Because if you've been with me long enough, y'all know this story already. So I said that white people go to her website to jack off. That's what I said. And the next thing I know, everybody's running around Twitter saying, I hate white people because of what I said. No. If you went to her website as a white person to get off on black people, I was talking about you. I wasn't talking about everybody. I know not every white person goes to Crime Watch to hate on black people. Well, this is the same thing. I'm getting put in a box, and I've never even been on a Carnival cruise ship. I'm getting put in a box, and I don't fight at Waffle House. I get put in a box because I'm not out doing stabbing people and shooting anybody. That's not me. But yet, I go read the thing about Carnival Cruise Line, and they talking about black people, and I'm like, but no, it's not every black person. Now, do we have some in our midst that every now and then, gonna get on a Carnival Cruise Line? How they act, I don't know, because I've never been on one. I just seen the videos. Again, I'm from the East Coast. Again, I've been to Risley, West Virginia. I've been to Cumberland, Maryland. I've been to Mississippi. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. I've been in the South. And for y'all to sit there and try to act like that all white people are the same, y'all just a liar. And y'all know it. You know that as well as I do. Because the trailers don't like the suburbs. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Come on now. Trailer don't like the suburbs, and the suburbs don't like the trailers. I'm just saying. Now, every Negro that's in the ghetto that's acting the way that I don't like that. So for you to sit here and point the finger at Carnival Cruise Line and act like every black person is on Carnival Cruise Line, that's just not right. It's not. You're using a wide brush. Because again, I have never been on Carnival Cruise Line. I've never been on a cruise before in my life. Whether it's Carnival or Royale or whatever Carnival Cruise Line that Daryl showed the picture of all these white people dressed in white and asking the question, what don't you see? And people like Negroes. I've never even been on one of them cruises with a bunch of white people. So no, we're not all the same. Just like you guys will say the same thing to me when I say something. You say you're not all the same, Rev. We're not all the same, Rev. You're using a wide brush. Huh? I use a wide brush because I turn around and y'all using a wide brush. Just like this bonehead who wants to make a big deal out of black men. Anyway, I've never been on a Carnival Cruise Line. So I'm just saying point blank, whatever them black people that went on that cruise line and screwed up, I had nothing to do with it. If Carnival Cruise Line is coming out, got a letter out there telling black folks that we're tired of you, that we got black fatigue on you because of the way you act and the things you do, I got nothing to do with that. If Carnival Cruise Line is saying we're going to change rules now, I got nothing to do with the reason they changing the rules. If they said that they're going to get to the point that they only let 12 white people 12 black people on their boat at a time, I got nothing to do with the reason they only going to let 12 black people on their boat. Nothing. I ain't never been on the boat. So don't be pointing a finger at all black folks. It ain't got nothings to do with me. Nothings to do with me. I'm good. I stay over here and do this here. And they do that there. So when you talking about black folks on these ships, just say there's some, not Rev, but there's some black people who done got out of hand to the point to where Carnival Cruise Line has done changed all they regular. They want to go from being the worst boat you can get on because of black folks. Apparently that's what this is about. They want to go from being the worst boat you can be on because of black folks to one of the best boats you can be on, according to white people, because of white people. That's what they're saying. I got nothing to do with the boat that the black people own and the reason Carnival is upset. I got nothing to do with it. So if we can agree, I won't use a wide brush if you don't use a wide brush. I think that's fair. That'll be fair. That'll be fair for both of us. I won't say white people. I will say some white people. As long as you don't say black people, but some black people. See, we both get to criticize, right? We both get to criticize. Because that's what we want to do. We want to point out the bad parts of black and white people. Like you want to point out the fact that Carnival Cruise Line is fed up with black people. Well, Carnival Cruise Line is fed up with a group of black people. Just like if I want to point out the fact that there's a white kid that decided to go and shoot. Think about it for a second, because this is what you do. Firefighters trying to fight a blaze. That's what happened. Just like you got white kids that like to go and shoot up schools. right? But it's not every white kid that likes to shoot schools, correct? It's not every white kid that likes to shoot firefighters and EMTs, correct? Just like it's not every black kid who finds a way to get shot by the police and don't listen to the police and will run for the police. That's not every black kid. See what I'm saying? It's not every black kid that sells dope on the corner. It's not every black kid that's going to shoot each other for that dope that's being sold on the corner. It's not every black little girl that ends up with 3 or 4 baby daddies on welfare. It's not every black girl, right? I'm just making sure that we're all on the same page when we talk about this stuff. Not saying you can't talk about it, but let's not use the wide brush, as people were saying. And I think that will be fair enough for each and every one of us, as long as we don't use that wide brush. Anyway, fam, let's check. I want to make sure we get that checked off there. The Carnival Cruise Line crap that you guys are putting out there, and you pull it, because I've never been on a Carnival cruise. So again, I have nothing to do with the way these black folks are acting on these boats and giving Carnival a reason to try to kick black folks off or restrict so many black people on how to be. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. I used to work at this club. And some of you, if you're here in Minnesota, you're going to know which club I'm talking about. It's on Bass Lake Road and 494. It used to call Alligators. I was, in the 90s, I was a bouncer at Alligators, at that nightclub at Alligators. And when it started to get too urban, notice how I did that, right? When it started to get too urban, they started playing white music. That's how they got black people out of the club. No, seriously, no joke. It was called Alligators. It's right there on 494 and Bass Lake Road. There's a daycare. No, there's a school there now. They knocked it down. There used to be, because it was a bowling alley, it was a nightclub, and there was an eatery. If anybody's as old as me, y'all know who I'm talking about. But yeah, I was a bouncer there for about 5 years. And then when it started getting, like I said, urban, black folks, a lot of black folks start coming there, and it started getting rowdy outside at the end of the night, because that's what we do. That's what some of us do. Some of us can't go to a nightclub and enjoy ourselves. We have to be extra at the end. And that's why they start shutting stuff down. And that's why they start playing AC/DC and stuff like that in the clubs that used to play Nelly and LL Cool J and Run DMC and all of them. But once the black folks, some, decide to come to these clubs, white clubs, and start acting a fool, this is what they would do. So Carnival, what you have to do is stop playing black folks' music, and they'll stop coming. And then you have your white patriots, and you have your shit back. That's how it works. That point blank, that's how it works. I guarantee you that's all they have to do. And then Carnival Cruise Line will be back on top, and everything will be okay. And black folks will just have to go rent pontoons and then just go on the lakes and stuff like that, and then everybody be happy. Then we'll be out of everybody's way, I guess. But anyway, fam, I I know. I just had to put that out there. I just had to put that out there because I started seeing that. Another thing. Hold on. Let me get this one off my chest too, real quick. So this knucklehead on Twitter, like I said, Twitter's probably one of the worst places you want to be these days. But anyway, so this dude, where's he at? The reason I wanted to say something tonight was, again, white folks making fun of black fathers. It's like we damned if we do and we damned if we don't. Correct? So a bunch of black fathers got together in Chicago, and they called it Scroll something, with their kids, pushing their kids around being on strollers. And the dude said that, this is what he said. He said, they expect to be showered with praise just for doing what is normal. No, my friend, that's not what this is about. This is just about a bunch of black men getting together with their kids, enjoying themselves. We have it a lot in St. Paul. It's called Black Fathers. Well, black fathers get together because they're black fathers, because that's what they need. Because we're tired of hearing this myth. We're tired of hearing it. Here's the guy who said that. So we're tired of hearing this myth, right? Do I follow him? No. He's got like 500,000. But this dude. But we're tired of hearing this myth, right? Oh, there's no black fathers. There's no black fathers. A lot of black fathers are tired of hearing that lie, because that's usually what white people put on us. Remember when I told we talked about earlier about the wide brush. This is the wide brush that I'm talking about. That wide brush that there is no black fathers in the community. There's black fathers in the community. Is there enough to do the things that we need to do to bring us out? No, there isn't. But there are black fathers. And those black fathers in the community like to get together. And if they get together and just because they put a picture out there of them with their kids, should they be trashed? Should they be trashed just for coming together as black father and hanging out with their kids? And just because they put that's the wide brush that I'm talking about. See, y'all love to use that wide brush, but you don't like to hear it put on you. Because I know. Maybe no, I'm not going to bring nobody else in here but me. Again, I've been to Wizard, West Virginia, and there's a lot of white mothers. I've been to Virginia. I've been to Mississippi. I've been to a lot of poor places with white people. See, the difference between you all and us is we don't bring up your pain. We don't. You don't really see a lot of this stuff on Twitter. I don't. If there's some, if you find some, hit me up with it. Where black people are always talking. I mean, always. There's somebody on Twitter that's always talking about black people. Always. We stay in their crawl 24/7. Like this dude. 24/7, we stay in their crawl. I don't talk about white people 24/7. Only time I talk about y'all is when y'all do stuff like this. But this is a group of black men who got together with their kids. It was like, hey, we're all together. Let's take a couple of pictures. And they put it on the web. And then the white people on the web are going, oh, look at this. Black men being Fathers, oh my God. And want to criticize the black men for being fathers. But the minute they're not fathers, they want to criticize them for not being fathers. Can't we just leave people alone? I mean, it should be that simple. We should just leave people alone. Y'all leave us alone. We leave y'all alone. We'll see how that works. But we can't. You can't. Just can't do it. It's just something. There's something in there that's you have to. Oh my God, I can't make it through the day. I'm using a white brush now. I can't make it through the day without saying something about black people. Without putting black people down in some way, shape, or form. Oh, let me go to Crime Watch. Crime Watch is where I need to be right now. But it's funny. It's funny about something with Crime Watch. Ever since they did the encryption thing, Crime Watch ain't what it was at one point in time. So maybe that encryption thing was a good thing. Because I don't see as many people going over there getting their daily fix. But there's just a group of black men doing black things. So we're damned if we go on the Carnival Cruise Line. We're damned if we want to show up and be a father. We damned when we don't want to show up and be a father. And we damned if we point out all the hypocrites who takes us through this shit. So we're damned if we do, and we're damned if we don't. But here's the problem with all of this here, which some of y'all, and I'm just going to say some of you. I'm not even going to say all of you. But some of you look at it and go, oh, I wish that we didn't have those looking people here. I don't blame me. Because I wish I could speak my native language. I wish our culture had stuck around. But we don't even know who we are. And that's not our fault. Some of you sit there and say, it's funny when I do sit and I talk to some white people and they sit there and they go, oh, I'm German Irish and my grandfather and did this and he was Dutch and then I got another grandfather who was Roman, Viking, English and blah, blah, blah. You can go all the way back on your people. Me? I can go right there to South Carolina and that's it. That's as far as I can go. I couldn't tell you what language we spoke. I don't know what ship my people got off of. I don't know once they got off in South Carolina. My grandmother's people ended up walking from Charleston, South Carolina, all the way to a plantation in Tennessee, walking. And some of them didn't make it. No, they didn't have airplanes back then. They didn't have cars. They had wagons and horses, but the slaves didn't ride. They walked that whole way. I know that much. So you look at all of that we've been through, and we still have to go through this shit. Like I told my grandson, sometimes I sit and say, we should just leave each other alone. Black folks leave white folks alone, and white folks leave black. But we can't do that because we need each other. God never put us here, ever. Show me in the Bible, please, ma'am and sir. It's us who do this. It's us who divide each other. It's us who say, "Oh, I got to be better than you, and you got to be better than." It's us who do this. Us, and it's sad. But I guess that's the way this thing is going to work. I guess it's going to be my grandson's generation that maybe he's 12, and maybe his generation. Because by that time, there's going to be a lot of mixed kids. There's going to be a lot of brown and white and purple and silver kids. There are. The way things are going right now, by that time, there's going to be so many kids that look like my grandkids. It's not going to matter anymore. It's not going to matter anymore. By that time, when the floodgates have opened, there's going to be enough that it's just not going to matter. Everybody's going to look at each other and be like, "Hey, we the same now." We're pretty much the same now, because one group is dying and another group is getting stronger. That's exactly what's happening. That's exactly, no matter how hard Trump tries, it's just this is God's will. God is doing this. Doesn't matter what they do at the White House. Doesn't matter what type, sit there and go, "We're going to lock the doors and we're not letting nobody else in." We got enough here that's doing what they're doing that's going to make sure that the minority is not the minority anymore. Correct? I mean, do the math, people. The math is on the wall. So hopefully, by the time my granddaughter, who is 1 now, by the time she gets, 21, 22, and so many years from now, they don't ever have to worry about that. That's just what I'm saying. They don't ever have to worry about the goofy crap that we do today. They don't ever have to worry about that. They don't have to worry about the goofy crap that we do today. Hopefully, we can get to that point and things will go from there. But anyway, fam, hey, I just wanted to jump down here and say, hey, I may not be back for 2 weeks because, like I said, on the 7th, they start playing baseball, and literally they do not stop playing because we got to go to St. Louis Park to Hopkins either every other day. No, we got 2 games in Hopkins. We got 2 games in St. Louis Park. We got a game in Hopkins. We go back to St. Louis Park. Then we go to Hopkins. Then we go to St. Louis Park, Hopkins, and then the last game. So it's 11 games. They got 11 games in 2 weeks. Every single day. So I probably won't be able to hang out with you for a while. But I'll see you when I get back. Y'all be good to each other. And again, put the brushes down. Let's not use such a wide brush because I've never been on a Carnival Cruise Line. So I do not. So I ain't got nothing to do with them Negroes who have turned Carnival Cruise Line into a jungle or whatever that dude said. I have nothing to do with that. I've never done it. I've never booty shaken. I've never twerked. I've never smoked weed. I've never had a boom box. I've never ate up all the breakfast before everybody else got none of that stuff. But y'all have a good one. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your day. And I want everybody to end up with all 5 fingers. If you don't know how to shoot fireworks, leave it to us experts. I shot fireworks off last night. I usually do mine on the 3rd. But then, the police is not really looking. But I did my fireworks on last night. So anyway, I'm not doing anything. I'm going to go up here and watch a movie with the wife, and then we're going to be good to go. But y'all have a good night. We'll see you guys in about 2 weeks, and then we'll start up from there. You know what? No, Angela. I'm going to see if I can get Angela. She's another woman of the community. I'm going to see if I can get her on here with me. we got a few things that we're going to talk about. For those who have asked about Brad is doing good. Brad has been out campaigning like crazy. I'm so proud of this dude, and it's been fun hanging out with him and watching him. So again, if you don't know who Brad is, Brad Kohler is running for the governor, so we can make a difference here in the state of Minnesota. With that said, y'all have a good one. Peace, fam. I'm out, and be good to each other. Bye now.